Hey everyone, I'm John from Microtech, and today I'm here to give you a close-up look at the fastest and probably the most legendary car in the entire Rotary world, the Major League RX-8. Let's go check it out. Now the car itself was originally built all the way back in 2004 by Don Ness. It was built for a Puerto Rican Rotary enthusiast with one goal in mind, and that was to be the quickest Rotary in the world. The car debuted late 2005, and within 1 or 2 race meetings it had achieved that goal, and it was already the #1 in the world. And the coolest thing today is that in 2017 it still holds that world record for the quickest Rotary. Now, as you can see, the interior of the car is all strictly business. Like any other drag car, there's nothing in here that doesn't need to be in here, simply because you want to keep the weight of the car as minimum as possible. You have the Microtech dash. All of the data logging is done through that, and the display for the driver. The AMS boost controller, Liberty transmission, the LT32 Big Bertha, controlling the injectors and the timing, the MSD for the spark amplification. You have the nitrous bottle, carbon fibre nitrous bottle, again to get the weight down as much as possible, and even the trusty Microtech handset floating around on the floor. Now let's get to the part that all the rotor heads around the world have been waiting to see, the engine. Now, the first thing you'll probably notice, despite the fact that this is the quickest Rotary in the world, there's no blanket covering the engine. There's no secrets in here, everything's on display, and you can have a good look, and we'll go through everything in this engine bay and explain everything and what it's there for. Now, the engine in the car is built by Mikey Performance. Mikey was the original engine builder way back in 2004 when the car made its debut, and he's the engine builder for the car again now. It's a 3-rotor engine. It has a billet centre plate, a billet rear plate, and a factory cast iron front plate and intermediate plate. It has the Gatto intake manifold, which many of the Fast 20Bs are using, and something a little different is the triple turbo setup. This car's had a number of different engines and combinations in it, but the guys have stuck with the 3-turbo setup because they feel that it's got the most potential to run quicker than it has already. engine itself has 15 EFI injectors, and for additional fuel it has 6 extra nozzles, 1 in each runner, which the Puerto Rican guys call pateras. They're also controlled through the ECU, and they switch on at a certain boost level when the car's halfway down the track to add additional fuel from half track to the finish line. And just in case they need a little bit extra, we have the nitrous set up too. Now, one other thing you may have noticed, the car doesn't have an intercooler, but instead of the intercooler, they have a nitrous fogger in front of the throttle body, which takes the place of the intercooler. Keeps the weight down in the car. You don't have to have the water cooler, the plumbing, the intercooler pipes, and carry all that extra water. And in its efficient way of keeping the intake charge cool. If we take a closer look at the front of the engine, you'll see the dry sump's being used. The oil tank for the dry sump is over in the back corner. And one other thing that you may have already noticed, there's no radiator in the car. You can see where the radiator used to mount here. But if we look closely here in the front plate, the entire cooling system's been blocked off, which is something that a lot of the rotary drag racing guys using methanol are starting to do now, run the engine without any water. The car is now under the control of Batoon Performance. Batoon himself tunes the LT32 Big Bertha ECU and makes all the tuning calls with the car. He has his trusted crew of Mikey Performance building the engines, Ram Sammy doing the clutch and chassis adjustment, Raul Cuajo Reyes driving, and Jonathan as the crew chief. And what's also very impressive about this car, it was built 13 years ago, and it's still probably one of the best made sport compact chassis ever in history. Now, with all the technology available today, that's a pretty mean achievement. The Major League RX-8 will go down in history as being one of the world's most legendary rotary vehicles ever made. I hope you enjoyed your close-up look at the car. Let us know which Microtech EFI ride you'd like us to feature next. See you next time.